Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shuffle Podcast, episode 276. I'm Joe.
And I'm Annie.
Annie, how are you doing?
I'm doing so much better than I was
Yeah.
earlier this
Your
week.
voice would say otherwise.
This is an improvement.
Yeah. So last week after we finished recording, you got
last week
sicker than a dog.
Last week we filmed on what, Wednesday? I think Tuesday or Wednesday.
All the days blur together.
Yeah, something like that. We filmed Tuesday or Wednesday. And the second you guys, not even like when we were sitting over there filming the puzzle.
Filming the puzzle.
Doing the puzzle. We did the puzzle after we finished filming. I started to feel a little bit, and I had a dinner that night that I was supposed to go to, and I drove like 25 minutes over the dinner, and I got there, and Meg was there, and we sat down, and I was like, Meg, I don't think I could do this. I gotta go home.
You left?
I left.
Wow.
A birthday dinner, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I felt so awful.
Yeah.
Like, because I left, but also like just because
you felt awful, yeah.
Because I felt awful.
Was it like one of those things where like your whole body just hurts and you know
everything hurt?
Yeah.
I thought I had a fever, and like I had a thermometer here, and I kept taking my temperature, and I never did. But like when you feel like you have a fever, like you're just like
yeah, and then you're hot and you're cold.
I was hot and I was cold at the same time.
Katy Perry, is that?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
I went to urgent care that night at like 10 o'clock at night. I've never been to the doctor. I didn't know they were either.
Are they open 24 hours?
Someone closed at midnight.
Okay. I was gonna say I didn't know they were open.
Yeah, because I had to find one that was open. So I get there because the only other time in my life I had felt like this, or at least in the recent years, was when I had strep a couple of years ago.
You still have your tonsils.
I saw my tonsils.
Can't get those out now.
Why?
You're too old.
Really?
The older you
get. There's a limit?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know there was a limit.
The more likely you are to die from getting your tonsils removed. I learned this recently. I didn't know this was a thing. I learned this recently that apparently at a certain not at a specific age, but the older you get, the more dangerous it becomes to remove your tonsils. Which is
I'm pre-med major. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's wild.
I didn't know that. I still have my tonsils. I used to get strep all the time as a kid.
Me too. That's why I got them out.
And I hadn't had it for years. And then like 2 years ago, I had it really, really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. And I've hardly been sick since. Yeah. And this is what it felt like. It was the same kind of like.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, remember how last week we were telling our embarrassing stories, and I said that I threw up blood one time? Mm-hmm. That is directly related to me getting my tonsils out.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So.
Crazy.
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend, I definitely wouldn't recommend now at your age.
Obviously, because I would die.
There's a good chance, yeah, which is crazy to me. I don't know how.
Why?
Something about like the scab formation or the blood drippage. Which is unfortunate to talk about.
Like choking on your own blood after you get your tonsils out?
Yeah, I can't imagine. I actually can imagine it.
This is 2 podcasts in a row now where we've talked about
bodily
fluids in not a nice way.
Yeah. Well, in other more positive, not gross news, we recently hit, not necessarily a milestone, but I will consider it a milestone for the podcast.
What?
We're up to, actually now, 61 subscribers. I wrote down 60 the other day, and we got another subscriber since then.
Woo-hoo.
And yes, very
What did we start at when I started?
When you jumped in, we were at 55. So the past 6 have come since you've joined literally 2 weeks ago. Which is very impressive. Obviously, we were just talking about before we recorded how everybody at work now listens and or watches to the podcast and brings it up, in my opinion, way too often.
No, literally.
There's like people that are brand new. We're like, oh my God, Joe, you have a podcast. Mm-hmm. I watched it. And I was like,
who are you?
Don't talk to me about that. And
when work and home collide.
Yeah, because it's like, obviously we make this podcast and put it on the internet for everybody and anybody to watch.
But it's weird when worlds collide.
When people say, hey, I watch it. Because I'm like,
don't watch me. I don't want you to know.
Like when my mom calls me every week and is like, so I listen to the podcast. I'm like, oh God, please.
I know. My mom always talks to me.
Yeah, I'm always like, I hope you like it. Please, God. I used to swear a lot more. And then my mom called me and was like, you swear way too much. And I was like, Mom, that's who I am when you're not around. Because I do not swear in front of my mother.
Yeah.
But on the podcast, I swear like a sailor.
Yeah.
But I've really toned it down.
Good.
I was dropping F-bombs every other sentence back in the day.
Good, because my mom watches it too. Fair.
But yeah, we did hit a small milestone.
Yay.
And I'm very happy. And we're just continuing to get more views on every episode, more subscribers. So if you're watching,
welcome.
Thank you. And subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Woo.
And like when people do like the
Yeah, you want me to put the little thing up there?
The thumbnail.
Put the little thing up there. Anyways, you have 2 stories.
I have 2? Oh, I do have 2. I have that one.
Which one do you want to... You start wherever your heart desires.
I think I'm going to start with that one because that's the shorter story.
That seems interesting, yeah.
Yeah. So...
We're pointing at something that
I know you can't see it. It's on the table right now. I brought show and tell. So last week we talked about cowboys and how we were cowboys and how I don't remember a lot of that night.
Yeah.
This happened in the period of time that I don't remember.
Right.
So let me start at the beginning of my story because it's different than what the actual events are.
Okay.
I'm doing laundry a couple nights after Cowboys.
Right.
And I was taking my clothes out of the dryer to fold them all.
Do you, really quick, just total tangent, do you immediately fold and put your clothes away after
you? It depends.
Okay.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on how I feel. Why?
Because you, like, me, like, the story would have just been like, I pulled my clothes out of the dryer and they sat in a laundry basket for 27 years. But
no, at this point in time,
I immediately folded them. I was like, interesting.
Well, I think it was a day off. Like, if I have a day off, I will fold them pretty much immediately because I don't like wrinkles in clothing.
Yeah. This outfit, pulled it out of the laundry basket.
Yeah.
Before
I mean, that's valid. I do that too sometimes. Like, if I do laundry before or after work, that's what I do. Yeah. I just put it in the laundry basket again.
But anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So this is my show and tell. I pulled out my clothes from the dryer, and this little guy falls out. Where's the camera? There it is.
Where's the camera?
I was holding up to the computer. This little guy falls out.
A little doll.
Just a little doll. My heart sinks because I'm a little superstitious.
Of course you are, yeah.
Yeah, I fully believe in all the voodoo and hex and that kind of stuff.
This little voodoo doll.
This is a little voodoo doll.
Yeah.
I, at the time, had no idea where this thing came from.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm thinking, I've been hexed. Yes. I've been cursed. Like, somebody's
out to get you
in my apartment, and I'm going to start, like, I don't know, spewing out bugs out of my esophagus. I don't even know.
Oh,
I know.
That's nasty.
So that's my half of the story, and I had no idea where this thing came from. And so it was like the next day, because you were gone. Caitlin was gone. She's my roommate.
Yeah, you to the nothingness over there.
Caitlin, my roommate, was gone, so I didn't have anyone to tell this to. And then she finally came back, and I was telling her the story.
So how long, for a day, you were just
it was like the next day or two.
Sitting here thinking about
like
this.
A day or two.
Oh, my God.
And I was telling her about it, and she was like, Annabelle.
She goes, I did it to you.
She's
put a curse upon you and your family.
Yeah, your firstborn.
Yeah. Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your
cow. No, she's like, Annabelle, that's from Cowboys. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
She was like, what even? You said that. I still don't really remember what happened. She stepped on it at the dance floor at Cowboys, and she held it up and was like, here, look at this little guy. And me, and I don't know, my drunken state, just held out my pocket. I opened up my pocket, I guess, and let her, I was like, here.
Yeah.
Put it in my pocket.
Safekeeping, Hold on to him.
I put it in my pocket, and that's
I
where
remember,
it stayed.
I remember like us finding him.
I'm so glad you remember it.
I do, yeah, because it was among one other thing, the thing that Madeline proposed to you with, that little like rubber thing that had found its way on the floor near this at one point. I think she brought it.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was just
work.
found. Yeah. But at one point, both of them were on the floor near each other, and I think that's how we found this.
I don't know,
but
my little guy.
No. Yeah. So you're not cursed. At least you hope.
I mean, maybe somebody left it on at the Cowboys dance floor to curse him on Cowboys.
Yeah.
I think I should call him Cowboy.
Does it have a little thing on its head? Like a little? Oh, it's just got an earring.
It's got a little,
I thought
it's got one little earring.
I was like, it looks like it's got a little keychain ring on its head,
like that.
Which that still very well may be a keychain
it's also
ring.
Got a little dangle.
Dangle. Maybe it's a sign.
A little dingle dangle.
Put it away, please.
I think I'm gonna name him Cowboy.
You're just gonna name him Cowboy?
Yeah.
Give him a little hat.
Do you have a little hat? Oh my God, I gotta get a little hat.
Yeah, we'll get a little hat for him, and he can be. Yeah, he can live right there for every episode.
Sure, he's not gonna stand up.
If any of you watching have a little cowboy hat,
let me know.
Please send it in. We'll get a P.O. box for you.
That's Cowboy, our mascot.
Yeah.
The official mascot of the Shuffle podcast.
Just laying there.
TM.
I also have 2 stories that I'm going to tell.
Yeah,
so I'll jump in here with mine. And I'm going to do the one that's happened to me earlier in the week. It's been a really long week since we last recorded.
Yeah.
I kept thinking we were missing an episode somewhere, but it's just because it's been so long and I've been so busy this week.
Yeah.
But the other day, so Riley and I play D&D with a bunch of our friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so the other day was our first session of D&D, our new campaign. And Riley couldn't be there.
Yeah.
But I went right after work, go there, play until, I don't know, 11 p.m. and driving home. Now, it's like a, I don't know, 30-ish minute drive home. And it's dark, again, 11 p.m. I'm driving home, and I'm probably about 5 minutes from my house. Meanwhile, in the car behind me are 2 other people that were at the D&D session, Jack and Jordan. So they're driving behind me, and I'm when I drive, I don't get road rage all that often, but I get road rage enough to where I have to just avoid traffic if at all possible. Yeah. If somebody's driving slow, I got to get around them before I start getting angry. So I'm getting around people, maneuvering through traffic, not driving too crazy, I would say, which nobody's here to vouch for me, but I would have, in my opinion, I'm not driving.
You're driving safe.
Yeah. And so at one point, we go through a light, and the people in the cars in the middle lane start slamming on the brakes for no reason. And so,
as they do.
Yeah, as they do in Florida all the time.
Right. People
and
can't
so
drive down here.
Me seeing this happen, I go, well, I'm not going to get stuck in this unnecessary traffic. So I swerve around them. So I go around, and then I see the truck that I then get behind, swerve like crazy. And I'm like, what the heck are they doing? And again, I'm a good distance from the cars in front of me.
Yeah.
I see the truck swerve, and I'm like, what the heck was that? And then I go up to, I'm in the right lane now. I start catching up to the car in front of me, and they slam on their brakes. I'm like, what is everybody doing? Now at this point, I'm going too fast to slam on my brakes and not hit the car in front of me. So I swerve into the shoulder of the road.
Right.
And there's the reason everybody was slamming on their brakes is because there's this guy in the right turn lane walking in the middle of the road, all black, wearing a full black outfit. This was 11:30 at night. This guy's wearing all black, walking. I wish I could I don't even know if I'm able to show you, but he was just just walking like this, very aggressive walking down the middle of the lane. Wasn't on the shoulder. Wasn't a little bit in the road. He was the middle of the right turn, turning into Publix, and was right there. So and that was the lane I was swerving into, and everybody was slamming on their brakes because people were veering into out of the right turn lane to get out of this guy's way or to not hit this guy. So everybody's slamming on their brakes. I couldn't see any of that because 1, I'm driving at night. 2, I've got astigmatism, so all the fucking lights are just boom.
I would have killed, man.
And I literally swerve. The guy's right there, and I just throw my car into the grass.
Oh my God.
And didn't slow down at all. I couldn't even, it happened so fast, I could not even process my foot going to my brake pedal. So I just kept the speed I was going, which on 192 is 55 miles an hour. And I'm sure I had slowed down, but I just veer into the grass, punch it back around him, and just keep on going. And I'm that guy's gonna die. I would not be surprised at all if I search something up right now and there was a person hit and killed on 192 the other night. And again, Jacqueline and Jordan, the car behind me, they were
did you ask them about it?
With me. They called me. Or I think Jacqueline texted me. Jacqueline texted me as I was getting home, and she was like, "Are you okay?" I go, "Oh, good. You fucking saw that too?" Because I thought I was going crazy for a second. And she was like, "Yeah, no, that guy was in the middle of the road. What is going on?" And I'm like, "I have no idea, but I'm glad I'm not going crazy and you also saw this guy."
Oh my God.
And she was like, "Are you okay?" And she was like, "Jordan wants to know if you're okay." And I go,
"I'm okay."
Well, the first thing I did was write down in my notes, almost hitting a guy on the way home from Ben's so I could talk about it on the podcast. I go, so I guess I'm okay.
So you're fine.
Yeah, I go, I'm more concerned about that man because he either
was obviously going through something,
on drugs, or just totally out of his mind, because just literally all black outfit, middle of the road, cars just zooming past him.
Oh,
and I had to be,
my goodness,
I had to be literal feet from him. It's a miracle I did not murder a man. I was like, I swerved and I was like, what the hell was that? That's and then I just kept going because I was like, well, I didn't hit him. I'm not going to stop now. But I like literally went off road to avoid murdering somebody on the way home from
That's crazy.
Dungeons and Dragons.
From Dungeons and Dragons. Podcast would have been over. Joe Sharkey arrested.
Yeah.
Local Florida man.
Hit and run.
It's a guy.
I wouldn't have run.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. I don't know.
You wouldn't have seen him. You wouldn't have even known.
Exactly. I would have just heard a thud and been like, God, I hope my car's okay. But
it
was simultaneously terrifying and hilarious.
Crazy at the same time. Yeah.
All because I hate traffic so much that I like when people start pressing on the brakes, I'm like, I'm just going to go around them.
You like pettily speed up.
Yeah. And so if I just like press on my brakes with the people in front of me, I never would have interacted with this man.
You would have been fine.
And I never would have had a story for the podcast. So honestly,
it's a good thing.
It's a good thing I have a little bit of road rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have road rage. Real bad.
I believe it.
I'm from Atlanta. You got to.
Yeah. Nobody knows how to drive in Georgia.
Yeah. I was about to defend them, but I stopped myself.
Yeah, but no, I get really bad.
I joke all the time because we have 85 in downtown Atlanta, which is like 8 lanes of traffic.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen it.
And there is fully people who will be driving in the left lane and will just like if it's their exit, they will go across 8 lanes of traffic without a care in the world. No blinker, no looking, just
they
full
think the world
send.
revolves around them. It's ridiculous.
And that's what I live
I also
with.
just get like, I don't know if you'd call it. It's road rage, but without being on the road. I just get rage. I just get really angry sometimes.
You're just enraged all the time.
If I'm walking behind people and
who
who drive slow, yes, because I'm fully convinced people that walk slow also drive slow.
Slow.
Because I got long legs. Look at these puppies.
Like when I'm at work and I'm trying to get somewhere at work, like oh my god, and I walk behind people that go so slow.
People that work like crazy. Take out little kids.
Or like people on those freaking scooters. Peace and love to my scooter user people. Oh my god, drive faster.
Yeah, no, it drives me crazy. Or like when I'm walking into work and people on the sidewalk are standing 3 across and they're all walking negative 2 miles an hour, and I have to like, can you please just get out of the way?
When families at the parks like stand full family like 7 across.
Yeah.
The entire walkway. And I will fully just walk straight through.
Yeah, it drives me crazy.
I used to.
I think I would rather be stuck in traffic, because traffic, I'm like,
it's unavoidable.
Yeah, you're gonna hit it. But like people that walk slow make me more angry.
Like just get out of the way.
Yeah,
because I know you can walk faster than that, but you're just not.
Yeah.
No, I fully I used to when I first moved down here. I used to be the kind of person that if someone was walking at me, I say in a public space, but it's always at the parks. If someone was walking at me, I would move out of the way. Like if they were walking close enough that they were going to hit my shoulder.
People never move.
I would move out of the way. Yeah. And I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, why do I do that? And so now I don't move.
So you don't move. You
and
just let people walk into you.
Let people slam into me. Yesterday, we were at Epcot. Some lady like linebacker tackled me.
Oh my god!
Like square.
Yeah, you're small.
Square in the chest, and I saw her coming, but I was like,
"You're like, I'm just gonna take this.
I'm just gonna take it because I'm not gonna move out of your way
right now."
No, I was like, I'm not gonna move out of your way. Why would I?
My god!
So she just fully slammed right into me, and I fully I stop and I like, like, what?
Yeah.
Anyway. The whole thing. That's what should have been my pet peeve was slow walkers.
Slow walkers really just. Ooh,
I know.
They hurt. They irk me so much.
Walk faster.
Yep. Walk faster. Drive faster. But also at the same point, or on that same point, when people drive too fast,
they are
weaving in and out of traffic,
swiping you almost to get through traffic.
Yeah. I will. As far as I'm concerned, right. And here's where I know that I'm definitely in the wrong and contradicting myself. But like, as far as I'm concerned, when I'm driving, I'm doing everything right all the time.
I could do no wrong in a car.
Yeah, you should be driving as fast or as slow as I am
There
driving.
is no faster and there's no slower.
Yeah, there is no faster, there is no slower. And if you are driving faster than me, well, guess what? Guess who's moving over to box you in? Me.
No, because
I'm blocking you in, you piece of garbage. Stop driving like an idiot because you're going to kill somebody.
When I go home from work, I have to take I-4 for a very brief amount of time.
Yeah, the worst section of I-4, yeah.
But when we are going on I-4 and we merge, the lane obviously ends when you merge, but my exit is the next one down. So I stay in that merge lane, like the smaller lane, for as long as I possibly can, because I-4 is, bumper to bumper. We're not moving.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I stay in the merge side for as long as I can. And eventually the lane ends and I get over. But there are fully people that have like driven past and they'll just keep going down the median.
On the shoulder, yeah.
Like fast, like at 50 miles an hour.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes I'll be like petty and I'll drive like in the middle.
Yeah.
So that they can't.
They
can't pass.
You are traffic control in that point.
Yeah.
Like you are the one in charge.
Yeah.
I feel the exact same way.
So I'll like scooch over.
I got mad at somebody the other day. I was driving home from work, and you know how like on Sherberth, you're in the merge lane, and you zipper merge. Everybody knows how to zipper.
You gotta know how to zipper.
If you don't know how to zipper, get off the road.
Yeah. You shouldn't be driving.
But it's my space, right?
Yeah.
The car in front of me goes in front of the car, like next to me, and then I go behind the car that's next to me.
Yeah.
Well, this jackass, excuse me, is kept just getting all the way up and tailing the guy that I was supposed to merge.
So it's a double zipper. You can't double zipper.
And so I was like, dude, let me in, and he would not. And so you know what I did? Because the guy in front of me, I could tell was being super nice and left a nice big space. I punched it and got in front of him. I go, now this guy had to double zipper me.
Good.
And I felt bad for him because he was just being a nice guy.
Right.
So I gave him the thank you wave. I was like, thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, to be petty for that one guy.
That's the other thing. If I let somebody in front of me and they don't give me the thanks, I get really angry.
You're so mad.
I'm like, I'll hit you right now. I'll key your car if I had the opportunity. Shh. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I'm the person who knows how to drive and everybody else can't.
Everybody else.
So if anybody drives faster than me, I slow down. Yeah. And if anybody drives slower than me, I will run you off the road.
You got two people in this room who can vouch for the fact that I am not a happy driver.
Yeah.
I'm a good driver and I'm a safe driver, but I get angry.
I've never been in an accident, so I assume I'm a good driver.
I've never been in an accident that wasn't my was my fault.
That wasn't my fault.
No, that wasn't my
Every
fault.
Accident was my fault.
Is my fault. No. I mean, we talked about my...
I guess, wait, no, I have been in an accident, but I was standing. I was not moving, so I guess also not my fault. Somebody hit the car behind me, which hit me, so... But I drove away from it immediately, so... But yeah, that was totally, I guess we were kind of talking about cars. I was like, that was a tangent that I didn't
What was your first story?
Almost hitting the guy.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what was the original story there?
Which I kind of started hinting about this at work the other day, and then you said something about vehicular manslaughter. And you alluded to you having a similar story, but then I was wondering if you were just making a joke about you getting away with vehicular manslaughter.
No, I think I was going to tell a story. My parents don't know this story.
Did you kill somebody?
No. Oh, my God, no. So my parents, it's not really a bad story.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents probably will call me after this and ask me about it, but I was 17. I might have been 16. This was
pretty fresh
with my license. Yeah, by myself. I was working a job at an animal hospital and I went after school. I did that work study program.
Yeah.
So you go from school during part of your periods and you go during school. And then I just went straight home after because school was over. So I was coming home from that. I'm in my scrubs, keep in mind. I had scrubs on. I looked a mess probably. Back then I drove, this is important, I drove a 2002 black Saturn.
Okay.
Do you remember Saturns?
No.
Okay. So when you think of a drug dealer car, that's what I had.
Okay.
And because, I mean, it was an old car. It was 16, 17 years old. It was my first car. And it had black tinted windows, almost not legal tinted windows. I didn't do that. That was just how the car... And
wasn't me.
No, that was just how the car came. So I kept them that way. I fully looked like it was a sketchy car.
Yeah.
So
you were undoubtedly delivering drugs.
Yes, indeed. So I'm driving down the road. It's a road I take all the time. I live 5 minutes away. And then all of a sudden, I'm just driving. All of a sudden, lights behind me, flashing lights. I'm like, what the heck was I doing? I wasn't speeding.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. And this was the first time I'd ever been pulled over, obviously, because I just got my license. Yeah. I'm terrified.
Panic sets in, yeah.
I'm panicked. So I pull over in the middle of the road, mind you, because I'm not on a road where there's any kind of pull off anywhere.
Yeah.
So there was a 2-lane road. I am now in the second lane, like the rightmost lane. And I pull over and I stop. The guy comes up and he says, do you know why I pulled you? I roll down my window and he says, do you know why I pulled you over? He's already coming across very aggressive.
Yeah. You're like, genuinely, no, I don't.
I know. He didn't say, hey, how you doing? Like, hey, what's up? You know, sometimes people, like cops see a little girl and they're like,
yeah,
give you a little bit of grace. No. Fully like, do you know why I pulled you over today? And I told him, I was like, no, sir, I don't. I have no idea. And he said, you almost hit somebody back there. You ran a red light and almost hit somebody back there. And I said, I literally, kid you not, I was like, I did what?
Oh my God.
Like my jaw dropped. I was like, I did what? Huh? And he was like, yeah, the light turned red back there, which there was a red light far back, like a mile back was the closest red light. I know that road. And he was like, yeah, you ran the red light back there and almost hit a car turning left. And then just kept driving. And I was like,
are you sure?
I was like, huh? And so I'm sitting there. I was like, I'm so like, I was like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I promise you, I had no idea. I was in shock. I had no idea what was happening.
Like, there was no chance that this is me.
I'm like 16 years old. Well, I didn't even think that at that point because I was like, I'm 16 years old. It's a big, scary cop. I'd never been pulled over. I was just like, I was just like,
listen to the man in
I know.
charge,
I was like, oh my God,
yeah.
I'm so sorry. And so he takes my license and he comes back and he's like, I'm not going to give you a ticket. And I was like,
are you sure?
Thank you. And I drive off and I go on my day. So like nothing came of it. But then the years went on and I go back and I think about it and I'm like, I was in a scary car in a nice part of town. Because I lived in a nicer side of town and the place I worked was in like the rich side of town. So I'm in like the rich side of town with my scary drug dealer car. And I was thinking about it and I was like, I feel like, and I still think to this day, I think that man fully pulled me over, not expecting a little blonde girl to roll down the window.
Yeah.
And because
expecting a sober little blonde girl
to roll down the window, and I think he was trying to like, I don't even know, but I was like, because if I had truly run that red light and almost hit somebody,
you would be getting a ticket.
He should have given me a ticket.
Yeah.
He didn't. He let me go. With nothing, with just not even a warning. He was just like, yeah, just be more careful next time. Because like he was explaining that this is why I said vehicular manslaughter, because he said that would be involuntary manslaughter. And of course, 16-year-old me heard the words involuntary manslaughter. And I was like,
you're like, I only associate with voluntary manslaughter. God. What are you talking about?
I was like, oh my God. But no, to this day, I fully think he was just trying to like pull a fat. I think he fully thought I was going to be like a person of color in the wrong, like not like in the nice part of town trying to do something shady.
Yeah. I mean, you're driving a car with the most tinted windows.
Yes. I had fully tinted windows. And so that's what I think happened. I don't think, to this day, I don't think I ran that red light.
The cops.
I know. Because he came off so aggressive there was no reason for him to be so aggressive.
Yeah.
I was a scared little girl. I did no wrong. But to this day, I don't think I actually ran that red light, and I don't think I almost hit somebody. I think that was just his like excuse to pull me over.
Yeah, they gotta have something.
I don't think he had a reason to pull me over. Yeah. I think he was just doing it, and then when he saw it was me, he was like, "Oh, let me think of an excuse for this girl."
Saw that it was you, and then smelled no drugs.
None.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Because you looked sober, you smelled sober.
I was in scrubs. I was like full. My hair was in a bun. I was in scrubs. I had just come home from work. He saw on my license that I was like 16 or 17 years old. Yeah. I still had the vertical license.
Oh God!
It wasn't even the horizontal one. It was the vertical one.
Yeah.
But because that light that he said I ran was like a good mile up the road. Like it should. He should.
If that had happened, he would have pulled you over.
He would have pulled me over sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it took him a mile. And I was like, I wasn't speeding, so why did it take you so long to catch up with me if you turned on your lights the second I did it? So I don't know. It was a whole thing. He either had the wrong guy, and maybe he thought it was a different car.
Maybe.
And maybe he was further away and thought that I was the car, but it was a different car. Which in that case, somebody got away almost with involuntary manslaughter. But yeah.
Wow.
I haven't told many people that story. I never told my parents.
I've told my parents, I think, every time I've gotten pulled over.
Yeah, I mean, I've told my parents every other time.
Yeah.
But
not
which is
the time
not
you almost
many.
killed a person.
Not the time I apparently almost killed the person.
Yeah.
I was accused.
There's no way that you did that. You would have had to have been like asleep at the wheel.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, I was tired after work, but like.
Not that tired.
I feel like I would have noticed if I had almost hit a car.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I did it. So Atlanta cops, you suck.
Damn.
I'm just kidding.
No, you're not. We've taken a stand.
Not really.
Yeah. Hey, whatever. You had what other thing did you have for this week?
My stalker.
Yes, your stalker. We alluded to this last week too.
Yes. This is a fun story.
Yeah, go for it.
So
I'm actually eager to hear this one.
The year is 2020.
Oh God.
I went to a school where I went to college in the fall of 2020, in person.
Yeah.
I had physics, and it was a junior level class. Don't know how I ended up there, but I was a little freshman in a junior level physics class.
Right.
I don't know any of these people around me. I don't really know anyone anyway because I'm a freshman in college, but I definitely don't know anybody in the junior level physics class. So I sit down at the table, and it's like those old science tables that are like higher up, and they have the black with the gas attached to them. It's like those. I sit down at the table, and this kid sits next to me, and I don't think anything of it. He sits next to me, whatever. He's got a mask on. I had a mask on at that time. I was like, we were the two people in the school because we went to a North Georgia school where nobody wore a mask.
Right.
And we're just sitting there next to each other. He's very quiet, does not say a word to me, and I don't really say a word to him. But the way our physics teacher taught us was we had to do like questions with our table and then like answer them with the class.
I hate that.
So we had to do like physics questions together.
Right.
And he was very smart. I learned later that he wanted to like be a physicist or something. Like he
very smart.
Was very good at math, and I was not. I was not good at physics or math or any of the sort. So I just let him do whatever he wanted, and I was like, yeah, that sounds right. Sure. And so yeah, that goes by for a little bit. I learned his name. His name is Peter.
Okay.
I follow. And at this point, we've talked a little bit. He's a nice kid. I followed him on Instagram. He's definitely a little bit odd, in the nicest of terms. And I mentioned last week I found out he was autistic.
Right.
And so it was just like kind of interesting interactions that we had together. We didn't really talk much, but we both followed each other on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
He starts to, I should get my phone because I probably still have the DMs. He starts to DM me on Instagram.
Right.
And at first it's nothing major. He just like responds to stories or stuff. I played soccer, so he like congratulated me on games that we won or things like that. And it's now like months go by and nothing happens. But all of a sudden it starts to get a little bit weird. And the messages he's sending me on Instagram are just like, they're getting weirder and weirder. And he's starting to get like obsessive. Like I really enjoy hanging out with you. Things like, I don't know, things like that. Still like not anything more than like what a weird guy would do. But like,
sure, yeah.
I didn't think anything of it. I just kind of ignored it. It got to the point though, where how on Instagram, when somebody is active, they have a little green bubble that pops up on their profile. You can turn that off. I learned this because of this. But at the time I didn't have it off. So my little green bubble would pop up when I was active. It got to the point that he would, within seconds of me opening Instagram, he would know I was active and he would message me. So, and I didn't.
Mans was on Instagram all of the time.
I don't know. So he would wait for me to be active because I was ignoring his messages at this point. Because there was a few instances where he like tried to ask me out and like professed his, I don't know, love for me, whatever.
As they always
do. I know.
Men.
And so I kind of ignored him at this point.
And he's like 2 years older than you.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a junior. we got to it was like the next semester by the time this started happening. So I wasn't in class with him anymore. I didn't see him super often. I just saw him on campus from time to time. But yeah, he would message me like the second I would open Instagram, and he'd be like, he was like, I know that you're ignoring me or whatever. Like, he caught on to the fact that I was ignoring him. I was like, yeah, I am, because you're being really
super weird. Yeah.
And I just kept ignoring him. He started sending me like pictures of like letters that he had written to me like months in it prior.
Oh my God.
Like, he had a whole notebook of like letters he had written to me with dates on them, and he sent me these letters, and like he would send me pictures of the letters he wrote. It was just a bunch of weird stuff on top of another. Anyway, it never really got to the point where it was like anything I couldn't handle, because it was, again, it was
right,
just
you didn't
on
feel
Instagram.
unsafe.
Yeah. Anytime I saw him on campus, I was with somebody, so I didn't feel unsafe on campus. Any communication we had was through Instagram, so
Right.
I felt I was fine.
Right.
All of a sudden, Peter disappears.
Oh boy.
I don't know where he went.
This is now our true crime podcast.
No. Okay, so he disappears for a good while, and he stops DMing me, and I forget how it came up. I don't remember if me and my roommate got curious or if something happened that we found. We find a news article, because he was local.
Okay.
We find a local news article with his mugshot on it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so we're reading through. I wish I had the article like pulled up. I should have pulled it up, but we're reading through it, and we're reading like what he was arrested for, and you know what it was?
What?
Child pornography.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No way.
And like stalking behavior of like minors, like and like,
yeah, like
not
children,
not like 17-year-olds, but like 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds. Yeah. And they went through, I guess, I don't know how they figured it out or like how they got stuff on him, but they found pictures on his phone of like children, like girls.
Oh no.
And like inappropriate pictures of them.
Oh my God.
And we're reading through this whole article with his mugshot right there on the front of the
You're like,
thing.
I freaking know this guy.
And I was like, my heart dropped when that happened. I was like,
That's the most terrifying thing.
I know, it was so scary, especially, I don't know, because like nothing happened to me, obviously. And like I say stalker, he never really stalked me. He just like wouldn't leave me alone, which...
Still stalker-esque.
Yeah, it was just...
To the point where he's messaging you as soon as you get on Instagram. That's pretty stalkery behavior.
Yeah, because he would watch to see when I was active.
Yeah.
Where is my phone? Caitlin, do you see my phone? She's got it ready. Hold on. Let me see if I still have the DMs here.
Oh, boy.
Because it's...
How many unreplied messages?
I'm sure a lot. I really hope I still have it. Hold on. But yeah, so that's how... I don't think anything happened after that, after he was arrested. I don't know if he's still in jail.
Yeah, I don't know the sentence on something like that. I hope it's longer than 5 years, but...
You would think.
You would, but also, you know...
I do think I have him blocked.
I don't know anything about the justice system here in our lovely US of A.
But it's a very interesting time. I don't think I'm going to be able to find him. I think I have him blocked.
Oh, man. Don't say his last name. Whatever you do, do not say his last name.
I don't even know if I have his last name. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, good.
But yeah. So that's my stalker-ish story.
Wow. Arrested for child pornography. That's wild.
I know.
Georgia, man.
Georgia.
Got some crazy people down here in the South.
I'm so sad I don't have these messages anymore. I wish I did, but I don't.
That's all right.
No.
I guess while we're speaking of crimes, that leads directly into my next story too.
Good.
This one happened. Can I just say that I love that we do the podcast here, because this area of Orlando is just packed full of interesting people. And this story happened not 5 minutes before I showed up at your apartment today.
What?
Yeah. Literally, like as we were about to pull into the apartment complex.
Stuff that happens at like 9 o'clock at night too.
It's
because it's late when we're filming this.
Yeah, this is a very late episode.
Yeah.
So this is gold, right? So we're driving over here. Riley drove. We go to Chipotle, get our food, we come over here. There's some traffic. So Riley goes, oh, I can just cut through this parking lot and get on over there. And I was like, boom, do it. That was like the going through the Wendy's parking lot. So we cut through. We go through Wendy's, and then like just on the other side of Wendy's is the gas station, which of course has a convenience store attached to it. And so, yeah. So we drive past the Wendy's. We get to the convenience store, and at the corner of the convenience store, like walking into the road to like the point where like Riley like kind of like slams on her brakes a little bit, is this younger guy.
What is it with you guys and people in the road?
I know, yeah. This younger guy, he's like stepping off of the sidewalk into the parking lot essentially. And he's got a case of beer. Okay. And I like, as soon as I see him, I just go, interesting. Just like an observation, right? Just a quick observation that he looked like a young guy. And I was like, okay. Oh. And I almost did not say anything. I was like, I sat there, I tilted my head, and I literally just went, and we keep on driving. And then as we're like, this guy crosses, so he's on the right of it, so he's on my side of the car, and we're like kind of rounding the corner to come out of the parking lot of the gas station and turn to come into your apartment complex. He like rounds the bushes, and there's another kid standing like just out of view of the convenience store, like by the bushes. And here comes the guy with the case of beer and like handing it over to this kid. And I go, what the heck is this? I go, these are children. I go, what are you, 19? Got a case of Coors Light. Very obviously, this guy who, again, my guess, 20 years old, fake ID, buying cheap beer, Coors Light, for his friend or for him and his friend.
Who's even younger,
doesn't have a fake ID or didn't even want to risk going in and getting caught. So has his friend go in with the fake ID, buys it, brings it out to around the corner by the bushes and handing off the case of beer. I'm like, what in the world is... I so badly wanted to roll down my window and say, hey, how old are you guys?
What are you doing?
Because I know, right? Like when I was in college, I had friends buy me cases of beer or, a 6-pack or whatever. When I didn't have my fake ID yet, or when I had my fake ID, I would run in and buy beer for my friends. So like, I get it, right? But I was just like, what is going on here? It was just like the most like shocking thing. Like it looked a little bit off when this guy walked out of the convenience store, because to me, he looked like he wasn't 21 years old.
You could see it.
Yeah. And then my suspicions were confirmed
when he gave it to the other
this guy hiding behind the bushes. And I'm like, what the heck is that? These kids are 19 years old.
There's some interesting people in this complex.
This area is chock full of people, because this is like, to the general public, a brand new apartment complex. Because it used to be housing for college kids.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of very young people who live around here because it's so conveniently located.
Right.
And so you still get some of those young people that are just out here being interesting characters, and I loved it. I made some funny jokes that I won't tell on the podcast because they are a little inappropriate, but I was just like, the Coors Light commercials, the guy who says Coors Light has a really deep voice. Do you ever watch commercials for beer?
I don't know.
Well, for like Coors commercials, the guy who says it is like very like
Coors
deep,
Light.
Yeah, like Southern voice. And so it was just like, it's almost like driving a Ford truck, like drinking Coors and driving Ford, like the two same thing. It's always a low voice Southern guy. And so I was just making jokes with the low Southern accent. It was really funny. But yeah, these kids are buying one of the cheapest beers and one of the most disgusting beers, Coors Light.
Yeah, of all beers.
They're children.
Coors Light.
Well, it's like, when you first start drinking, you're like, cheap beer, what can I afford with no money? And it's just it's a beer that I know about.
Literally anything else is better than
Michelob
Coors.
Ultra.
No, a Michelob would be better.
But Michelob's are more expensive.
That's true, I guess.
I used to drink Miller High Lifes when I was underage. Miller High Lifes were like...
What is that?
It's like, they call it the champagne of beers. And I think they only call it that because it is the bubbliest, most carbonated beer you will ever consume in your life.
Like a soda.
Beer
was a soda?
Yeah, it's really not good at all.
Oh.
They call it the champagne of beers because it looks fancy. But it's really just because it's super bubbly. And it's dirt cheap. Like, I don't know, 20-pack is like $10. Literally so inexpensive. So that's what I would always drink as an underage child. Yeah. But witnessed an illegal.
I was a good child. I didn't drink really
underage?
hardly at all. The only alcohol I consumed underage was stuff my parents gave me.
Wow.
I know. I was a sheltered little kid.
Drank so much in college. Like too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely associate the amount of drinking I did to me not doing well in school the first time I went to college. So
yeah. See, I was just talking about this with someone. I went to a private Christian school in North Georgia.
So not a lot of partying and drinking going on there.
Where the closest package store was 15, 20 minutes away.
Closest what?
Like a ABC store.
Oh.
Package store. You don't call it a package store?
Nope.
You know what I'm talking about? Package store? Nobody calls it that? Okay, never mind. Like a liquor store.
Okay.
Kind of.
Sure, yeah.
A place to buy alcohol.
Right.
That was 15, 20 minutes away in North. What? Anyway. And I was an athlete. And so.
Oh, yeah.
And not only did we have practices and games all the time, but if anybody got caught doing anything, which people did.
Oh, all the time. I'm sure,
yeah, it was not even done for, but fitness. And if there's one thing I hate, it's running. And I was not going to run more than I needed to.
Right.
So I was not about to get caught and have to run as punishment.
Fair.
Because my roommate got caught and had to run for punishment. And it was not fun to watch that happen. Because it was the kind of running where you run till you drop.
Yeah.
Or vomit or pass out.
How much time we got here? We still got a decent amount of time. I drank one time. It was my freshman year, second semester, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I drank so much. I basically drank a whole bottle, and I've told this story so many times on the podcast with many other hosts, but I love telling this story. UV Blue vodka. You've heard of it? Yeah. Again, another thing that people underage drink all the time because it's cheap, it's readily available, and it's also poison. So I one time got like a small bottle of it, and I drank in a night basically the entire bottle by myself. And I was with friends, so like we were doing shots of it, but like I had the majority of that bottle. And then my other friend came in and she brought in a bottle of Smirnoff, and we were doing shots of that and using the UV Blue as a chaser because UV Blue obviously tastes way better than Smirnoff. And so like here I am chasing vodka with vodka.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just asking to literally die. And so this is all in the dorms. Like we were just in, like I lived on the 7th floor and all of my friends lived on the 6th floor. So the girls were directly below me and the guys were below me and down the hall. And so I would just go right downstairs into the girls' room all the time. And that's where I was drinking that night. And so, here we are. It's me and my 3 or 4 girlfriends. And I'm just drinking the night away. And I, at some point, just go dark. I go just total blackout. Mm-hmm. And I remember very few things that night. And I've like always tried to jog my memory. And I'd like, even of them telling me about that night, I cannot remember it. I remember searching on the ground. My one friend like dropped her birth control pill, and so I was like ripping apart their dorm room trying to find it for her.
What a good friend.
Yeah. Don't know if I ever did. Then the next thing I remember is having tunnel vision, and really this should be my most embarrassing story. Tunnel vision, throwing up into a garbage can. And not like a big garbage can, like one of the little dorm room garbage cans. Yeah.
Pails.
Throwing up into it. And being proud of myself that I was hitting the garbage can and not puking all over their rug. And then the next thing I remember is being woken up. I'm lying on my back. I'm staring up at a circle of people around me. A lot of faces I don't know. A couple of faces I do know. 2 of them being paramedics because they called an ambulance for me because I was fully unresponsive. Like, passed out on the floor, completely unresponsive. So they called an ambulance.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so they show up, they try and get me to wake up. I eventually do, obviously, right? They're standing over me. And the one guy, the paramedic, he asks me, he's like, "Hey, do you want to go to the hospital?" And I kind of laughed at him. And I was like, isn't that your call? Like, you're the paramedic here. I'm clearly inebriated.
I can't tell you that.
It's kind of up to you. And he goes, well, actually, now that you're awake, it's your choice.
Yeah,
and I go,
right.
oh, then no. I said it just like that. I'm sure I slurred all of the words, but that's how it sounded in my head. And so he goes, okay, that's fine. He goes, but you need to sign this paper saying that you're denying going to the hospital. Right. And then I just laughed at him. I go, I can't do that. He goes, it doesn't matter how good it looks, just sign right here. And I'm like, all right. So I think eyes closed, I just scribbled, said sorry, handed him the pen back. And they go, okay, your friend Dave is going to take you to his room. And I go, Dave's here?
You're like, Dave's here, been here all night.
And so he's standing in the doorway. He goes, hey, bud, gonna come down this way. You're sleeping on the futon. I go, sounds good. And so we walk to his room, and I'm like, I got to maintain my image here. I have to walk as straight and sober as possible. So I get up, and I walk down the hall trying to be as upright and walking straight. At this point, they all know how fucked up I am. I just puked into a bucket for God knows how long and then passed out on their floor. I don't even know what time of day it was. But I was like, what's the point of the story? What ended up happening was, because like the RAs got called to the room. Obviously, if an ambulance is getting called, the dorm is aware of what's happening.
Right.
And so, like a week goes by with there are no repercussions, right? Because yes, I'm underage. Yes, my friends are underage, but because they called the ambulance and my college had the Good Samaritan thing where if you call an ambulance for your friend, nobody can get in trouble for underage drinking.
Crazy.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. And so we couldn't get in any sort of trouble.
There's so many loopholes with that, though, because you could just have a party and like, oh, call an ambulance.
Yeah, we can't get in trouble.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so nobody got in any trouble. But that's a gray area because I kind of did get into some trouble. So a week went by, and then I got a letter in the mailbox that was like, you have a meeting scheduled with the dorm.
So blue.
It is so blue. You have a meeting scheduled with the dorm president, like the hall president. And I was like, what the heck is this about? And so okay, whatever. So I go down to the main floor lobby area and go and meet with this person in her office.
Mm-hmm.
And she brings up the whole thing. She goes, so this happened and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, sorry. She's like, so usually when this happens, she goes, obviously you're not in any serious trouble. Like, we're not going to I don't know, kick you out or whatever the rule would be.
Yeah.
She goes, that's not going to happen because of the Good Samaritan thing.
So if not, you would have been kicked out of school?
I don't think I would have been kicked out of school, but I definitely would have gotten in some serious trouble.
Yeah.
And so she was like, but we do require when this happens to somebody underage, we do require that you attend these meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay. And now, mind you, again, I'm a freshman, relatively new to drinking a lot because I only started drinking the summer, near the end of my senior year of high school. And even then it was I would only drink a little bit at a party at my house. Otherwise not really much at all. And so she schedules these meetings for me, and I tell my friends about it, and they go, dude, did you get signed up for AA? I'm like, I think I
Basically,
did. The college version, the underage version of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I got signed up for it. So I had to go to 2 meetings. The first one was the introduction. It was just me and this old woman, and she was like, so you have to do this, 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 and this. You have to, you take this, you watch this online video about drinking and what it can do to you, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And you have to track your drinking for, it was a month or something like that.
What?
And I don't even know if it was that long. It might have been 2 weeks. But she was like, anytime you have a drink, anytime you're at a party, she's like, just write it all down and keep track of it. And then when you come back for the second meeting, we'll kind of go over it and discuss it. Because it was basically trying to figure out, am I an irresponsible drinker? Or it was just a one-off thing, or am I showing patterns of
social
alcoholism?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it just so happened that, again, freshman, no job, no money. It just so happened that, like, it was that time of year where there weren't a lot of parties going on. So I spent the next 2 weeks
looked clean.
not drinking at all.
Yeah.
Just happenstance. And so I go back and I hand her the card with nothing on it. And she goes, "Oh, you're one of those." And I'm like, "What the hell does that mean?" Like, I go, "I can drink you under the table right now." But she was like, "Oh, you're one of those." And I go, "What do you mean?" She was like you have these, you drink every so often, but you drink way too much. And I go, "No, this is a one-time thing. I made a mistake. I drank too much one time. It won't happen again and ever has happened before." And she was like, "Well, when you're out at parties or when you're hanging out with friends, just be responsible. This is how much you should be drinking, and one drink every hour and blah, blah." I go, I know these things. I understand. I just didn't do it that night. So now here I am at Alcoholics Anonymous.
Somebody's never been to a college party.
Yeah. This old woman's never had fun in her life. She called me one of those, and I was so offended. I go, "Listen, I'll get hammered right now."
Marge or something.
Yeah, I'll get hammered right now and puke all over you. I swear to God. But yeah, so to this day when I'm hanging out with my college friends, like, remember when you had to go to AA? I was like, yes, I do remember that.
That's
because you guys called an ambulance on me. I go, "Next time, just drag me up to my room." I go, "I would have been fine." So they're like, "You were passed out for 20 minutes. And I'm like, "Just leave me there then."
I was all right.
I was clearly fine.
I was fine.
I woke up at 8 a.m. the next day, no hangover. Went to go get breakfast.
What?
Yeah, I was fine.
It's crazy.
To this day, I've only ever had one hangover.
Wow.
Yeah. And I drink a lot.
Oh, I wish.
It's great.
Because I had one last week.
Yep. My metabolism is so fast,
I think mine is, but
you would assume not as fast as mine.
I'm also 5'0".
Yeah, you are small. The alcohol just soaks right into everything you've got.
Gets into every pore and crevice.
Yeah. No, the only time I had a hangover was after my 25th birthday.
Specific.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend at the time, I think she tried to kill me. We went to Kitty's, and we had it was a surprise party. I knew we were going, but like I didn't expect everybody that was there to be there.
Yeah.
And so I get there and they're like, "Oh, we're all buying you shots," and I'm like, "No, you're not. I work tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. And they're
no,
like,
you didn't.
"We don't care." And oh no, I went to work the next day.
Went to work?
Yeah, I'll tell that story too.
Was it the job you do now?
Yep, the current job I have now.
And you had to drive a truck?
Yeah. And so so they're all like, "Oh, we're buying you drinks. You have to have like 25 drinks tonight." And I go, I will die. And they go, and I'm like, "Again, I work." They're like, "We don't care." And I'm like, "Cool." I don't know how many drinks I ended up having that night. But from what I was told, I was pushing 20. I was told that I was getting close. I don't think I made it 25. I was told that I came close to 20.
Oh.
Yeah, between shots and beers, I came close to 20. And that night, she drove home, and I puked as soon as she opened the car door.
I can't believe you worked the
chicken wings all over the driveway. Crawled into the house. Crawled from the front door all the way to the bathroom. And fell asleep a little bit on the floor. Did not throw up anymore inside. Made my way into bed. And my alarm went off at 5 a.m. the next morning.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine doing our job.
Yeah, I don't know that I was hungover. There's a good chance I woke up that morning
still drunk.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I got in the shower, and after I got out of the shower, I was like, okay, I feel all right. It wasn't
every story he has told today has left me speechless.
I felt okay after the shower, and I was like, "Hey, can I just have some coffee? Can you make me a cup of coffee?" She goes, "Oh, we don't have any." And that's when I was like,
"No,
I'm in trouble."
Yeah, that's bad.
But I was like, "It's all right. The shower helped. I feel okay." She goes, "Are you sure you don't want to call out?" And I was like, "Yes, I cannot call out." And it wasn't like I couldn't afford to. It was like, it's when I was trying to get the promotion that I currently have.
Right.
And so I was like, I can't call out. It's going to look bad on me. It wouldn't have looked bad. call out if you're sick.
That was like the other day when I was dying sick and I didn't call out because of
call out.
Yeah.
And so I went to work, and again, I get to work and I feel all right. It wasn't until the sun came up and the heat started getting to me, because again, my birthday's in May.
Yeah.
And so the heat started getting to me, and that's when I felt it. And that's when I realized I am not doing well.
You are a better person than I am.
And I remember I cried that day after I was hoping to get taken out of my position, and it was just a babysit. And I cried. And I went to the bathroom, and I splashed some cold water on my face, cried a little bit more, went back out there, did it again, and came back, and thank God the person showed some pity on me who is in base, and they were like, "Do you need to go home?" And I looked at her, I went, "Yeah, please." And she sent me home early that day.
Who was it? Do I know this person?
No, she left before you got there.
Wow.
But that person saved my life that day, and I was like, "Thank you so much," because I had probably another 2 or 3 hours left of my shift when I was on that break.
Because fully the only reason I drank as much as I did at Cowboys is because I had the next day off.
Yeah.
I would not have. Because the next day we drove to Logan's, and I almost threw up in her car.
Yeah.
I did not throw up, but I got so sick.
Yeah.
Logan gets really car sick. Always sits in the front seat.
I'm the same way.
She let me sit in the front seat. That's how sick I was. Because if I had sat in the back and I could.
Oh, it would have been over. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so bad.
Yeah. I got so mad the drive home from Kitty's that night because the drive where we were living at the time was probably about maybe 20 minutes. So it felt like 5 years, but it also simultaneously felt like she was driving 1 billion miles an hour. Yeah. So I was like, you need to drive carefully, please. I was like, I'm going to be sick. And she goes, no, you're not. You're going to be fine. Just roll down the window. And so I was getting so angry because I was like, you're driving like a maniac.
And she's like,
but you're also not driving fast enough. And I like, and here's the part that I know, like, do not take my advice on this. I know that I'm in the wrong here, but I also know that if I had driven, I would have been fine. But I could not drive in the state that I was in. But if I was the one behind the wheel, I would not have thrown up. And that's a guarantee because I would have been in control. But me in the passenger seat, I'm getting, bounced around. So that's what caused me to throw up. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah, if I had driven, I probably would have killed both of us.
Right.
But I wouldn't have thrown up.
That's the important part.
That's the important part.
I'm so glad.
Yeah. So,
Right.
I did not drive. I've never driven. I don't drive
We're going to
drunk.
stop there.
I do not drive drunk now.
Good. I'm so glad that you get to be here with us today.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about this.
Happy that I'm alive.
Yay.
Anyway, should we take it to trivia?
I was like, oh
God, trivia. They really all have stopped reading the books, haven't they? We haven't. We have a regular audience that watches us now. Mm-hmm. So whenever you see Annabelle look over there, it's because there's at least one person sitting on the couch. Yeah. Now we have 3.
We have 3.
Yeah, so we're doing the podcast in front of a live studio audience. Who I will applaud for not reacting.
One of them is
asleep. God. Yeah.
It's very late. It's like 11 o'clock.
Yeah, live studio audience that's doing a very good job of not reacting loudly. So I'm very happy. But trivia. Pick a number between 1 and 10.
Not 2, 3, or 4?
Not 2, 3, or 4.
Okay. 6.
6. How many items are in a gross?
I gotta write it down, right?
I mean, I guess just the number, right?
Every week I almost say it out loud.
Do you have an answer?
Not a I have a guess.
Oh, okay. I was like, the fact that you're saying it out loud makes me think you actually might know what it is.
No, I was gonna guess one.
How many? This is a science, right? That we picked.
Yes, science and nature
question.
How many items are in a gross? A gross of what?
That's what I thought. Gross just meant total. Like your gross income.
Yeah.
Is your total income.
I don't know.
So I've got an answer, I guess. I've got a guess. Sorry.
I also have a guess. I guess. I don't think it's a good guess.
If you had picked 5. It's what material are fingernails made of?
Wait, what? Oh, that's keratin.
Yeah.
I know that one.
What's your answer for 6?
I said 4.
I said 100. So we're way over all over the place. It's 144.
What? I guess you're closer.
So I guess 12 squared is a gross.
12 squared. Wait, is that 12 squared? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 times 12. I see. I don't know
how you do math.
I told you I wasn't good at math.
Let me just do a quick check here. That's 4 weeks so far. You got Lauren's 2 points from her last episode.
Yeah.
So I'm currently beating you 8-2. So you got 2 weeks to redeem yourself. Mathematically speaking, you can't win. However, we always do it where
I sure can try.
If the last week, like if we get to that last week and there's no way
you do it by month?
No, it's 6-week periods. Okay, I don't know how we started that, but that's what it is.
I was gonna say I don't think you ever explained that to me.
Yeah.
I was like, when are we going? We just go forever.
Chunks, yeah. Okay. If we get to that 6th week and there's no chance of you winning, we'll go to a
double or nothing.
Basically, yeah, it's like if you get it right, you'll tie it, and then we'll go to a tiebreaker.
Ooh. Yeah. I sure am gonna try.
Yeah. Did I tell you what the winner gets after the 6-week chunks?
We win something?
Yeah.
What?
The loser buys the winner food.
Oh, okay.
That's all it is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, when we started doing trivia, we like food, so
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I will do that.
He
was fully just gonna do this without me knowing
anything.
I
would have explained it in the 6th week. We had 2 more weeks of it.
I didn't know there was anything actually on the line.
Yeah,
I thought it was just
money on the line.
I thought it was just bragging rights.
I will say though that nobody has ever honored this. Like we've never actually for a little while we purchased each other food.
Yeah.
But we've never really held true to it.
Well, you know how we always eat dinner before we film.
So now we'll just start buying each other dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where can people find you?
At Annabelle.Kessinger on Instagram and TikTok. And that's it.
And your eat of the week?
My eat of the week. Oh, God, I forget about this every week. When did I have this week?
I don't know. You ate today.
I sure did. What did I have today?
You did a lot of things this week, I would imagine.
I really didn't. I was lying on a couch most of the week because I was dying.
Well, you had that box of things over there on the floor.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait. I've got 2. So,
yeah,
I've got 2 eats of the weeks. One was
eats of the weeks.
eats of the weeks. One was Jeff's Bagel Run.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of things about this. Is it as good as everybody says?
It was very good.
I've never had it.
So it's bagels, but the dips made them they were very good bagels, but there's different dips you can get, spreads, cream cheese spreads.
Just wanted to make sure. Just making sure.
There's different we've got we had banana pudding, cookies and cream.
These are all cream cheeses?
Yes.
I don't like cream cheese.
There are still in our fridge, so you can try some after. But they're very good bagels, but the cream cheese spread's what made them good. But Jeff's Bagel Run was very good. And then we have a friend that has never seen Twilight, so we watched all the Twilight movies and we made charcuterie for that. And
charcuterie.
I love charcuterie. So that's my other one, is our charcuterie board.
Yeah. Twilight themed charcuterie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I ate almost all of the knockoff Reese's from that charcuterie board.
We have more.
And
a whole
good.
box of them. You can have more.
I'll take them all.
Okay.
Where were they from?
Trader Joe's.
Those were gas. Those might be my eat of the week. They're not, but they're up there. They're my number 2.
The Reese's Cups at Trader Joe's.
They're so good. Because they're filled with real peanut butter. So it wasn't like
the sugary,
the Reese's peanut butter is great because it's whatever it is
it's not
cocaine.
Peanut butter, yeah.
But the peanut butter in these was just like somebody took Jif and just slapped it in some chocolate. I don't know if I
actually tried one. I'll have to try one.
Oh my God, they're so good.
Yeah.
Reese's are my favorite chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, you can follow me on my photography Instagram at Sharky_photography and my regular Instagram at Secret Agent Sharky. My eat of the week this week, I found a recipe on Facebook for fried chicken. It was a recipe for chicken tenders, but the size of mine ended up being more like fried chicken. Made my own batter, fried them myself, cut the chicken myself.
Like buttermilk batter?
No, it was so it was flour, cornstarch, and so it was wet and dry batter. The wet batter you use soda water because the carbonation creates a lot of air bubbles.
Right.
And when you fry it, it makes it more crunchy. And so you do wet batter, dry batter, wet batter, dry batter, toss it in the oil.
Interesting.
And you fry it for like 7 minutes and it comes out. It was super, super crispy. And I tossed mine in hot sauce. So they were like buffalo chicken tenders.
Yes, I saw a picture of this. Yeah.
And oh my God, they were so good and so filling. Lot. I love cooking. It's like
you always have something fun that you cooked.
Yeah. I've recently, like my entire TikTok has been like new recipes. As I'm big in my 2 personality traits right now as a man are planting and cooking. Planting has always been a thing for me. Yeah.
Farmer Joe and Chef Joe.
Yeah, Farmer Joe and Chef Joe.
There you go.
But yeah, so those are my 2 big things right now. But that and those Reese's cups or those Trader Joe's Reese's cups were gas. As for the podcast, follow us on Twitter at CSGPod. That is CSGPOD. Follow us on TikTok at The Shuffle Podcast and on Instagram at The Shuffle_podcast. And you can subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all at The Shuffle Podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We will talk at you next week for our first episode of April.
Oh, yeah.
Already 4 months into the 2025.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Holy cow. Talk to you next week. Bye, everybody.
Peace out.